All right.
Year one Bazaar Festival. Welcome to the small stage. And we have our next artist. We have the Fireside Giants live stream. Woo! We're about to talk about sports. We're about to talk about New York. So let's hear from everybody. Let's go.
All right. Thank you, everybody. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Fireside Giants. I'm your host, Anthony Rivardo, and today I'm joined by Chris the Entertainah. Chris, how you doing?
I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Another season of football. Giants ready to go up against the divisional rival week one. We've had a sour taste in our mouth as Giants fans since about September of last year, so we got meaningful football for the first time in about a year, so I can't wait for tomorrow.
That's right. I'm excited for tomorrow. Giants, Commanders, Giants on the road. Russell Wilson starting at quarterback. What's your outlook for the offense this season? Obviously, a lot of moving parts and changes, but that big upgrade coming at the quarterback position, what kind of dividends do you think that's going to pay tomorrow afternoon?
We'll see. The biggest key for me tomorrow, just specifically talking about tomorrow's game, is the fact that Andrew Thomas is going to be out, hopefully only for 1 week. He may be out for multiple weeks, and we've seen in recent history as Giants fans what that can do to an offense. So the key for me tomorrow is, can James Hudson not wreck the game? I'm assuming he's going to start at the left tackle spot. But if they give Russ some time, I think the Giants will be able to move the football relatively well. Washington doesn't have like this incredible defense, so I think we'll be able to put up in the 20s. We saw in the preseason, we had 3 straight games in the 30s. I doubt we'll be able to duplicate that, but if we're able to score in the mid-20s, I think we got a good chance to get a win tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, this defense looks legit. And like you said, James Hudson's going to need to step up big tomorrow. That's why they paid him 2 years, $12 million. I know a lot of Giants fans really want to see the rookie Marcus Bowe take the start there at left tackle, but he's listed as a second-team right tackle going into this one. And then we'll see James Hudson probably starting at left tackle, and the rest of the offensive line the same as last year, which does give me some cause for concern.
The offensive line always gives me cause for concern. You know, I love the 300-pound men. It's by far the most important unit of a football team, at least in my opinion. I actually like, in a weird way, that they're bringing back the same unit, though, because I think continuity is important. You have the same offensive line coach. The Giants usually have a lot of moving parts on the offensive line. It's actually, in my opinion, it's nice to see the same unit coming back, and hopefully they could grow a bit. But Andrew Thomas needs to be in the lineup for them to be at full force.
Yeah, I think the continuity is crucial, and we won't have an offensive line at full force tomorrow, but we do have our playmakers in there. Malik Neighbors, not bothered by the toe injury. He's going to be playing here in week one. He'll be on the outside opposite Darius Slayton, and, of course, Wan'Dale Robinson in the slot. Looking at this Commanders defense, though, they've got Marshawn Lattimore. They have some young pieces in that secondary. How do you think the Giants match up, and any weaknesses that they could expose?
I look at this Washington defense. Nothing stands out to me as something. I think we have the much better defense. I'm being dead honest with you. I think the Giants have one of the best pass rushing units in the NFL on paper. We all know how paper works, but you look at Dexter Lawrence, you look at Kayvon Thibodeau, you look at Brian Burns, you look at Abdul Carter. There's not many units that are going to stack up with that. I don't see that coming from the other side of the field. I'm not too worried about the Washington defense, to be honest with you. It's Jaden Daniels that worries me. If Hudson doesn't wreck this game, and we've seen it in the past. I think back to the 2018 season, first drive. I knew the season was over before it started. The first drive, I saw Eric Flowers block for Eli Manning. We gave up a safety, or I think it was a safety. It was 3 sacks on the first 3 plays. If I see something like that tomorrow, we're in trouble. But if the offensive line could do their job and be satisfactory, I think we'll be able to move the ball against this defense. It's not that side of the ball that worries me with Washington. It's the other side with Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, and Washington had Dorrance Armstrong, their top pass rusher, on the injury report this week, but he's been cleared to play, and the Giants will have to game plan for him, as well as Von Miller, the veteran, joining that Washington defense. Of course, with Frankie Louvu and Bobby Wagner, they do have a pretty solid front seven, so this offensive line is going to need to step up. But what I'm really looking for is a big game out of Malik Neighbors. Last year versus Washington, Malik Neighbors was targeted on 67% of the routes that he ran, which is an extraordinary number, and he put up big numbers both times that he played Washington, especially in that week 2 game. Now, that one ended in a Malik Neighbors drop that unfortunately cost the Giants that game, but I view that as a major learning lesson for him, and I think going into week 1, the vibes are positive surrounding the New York Giants offense. Neighbors looks confident, and he looks ready to rock with Russell Wilson as his quarterback.
I mean, we've said it several times on Giants Collective. By the way, thank you to everybody in the chat. We see you guys. We'll answer some of your questions when we get to it. Of course, thank you to the thousands upon thousands of people that are here during the live show. But But as far as Neighbors goes, we've discussed that on our show countless times. We've both predicted he's going to win the Triple Crown this year. If he stays healthy, you're looking at a wide receiver last year. He had over 1,200 yards receiving. He only played 15 of the 17 games, and he played with pizza delivery boys basically as his quarterback. He had 4 different quarterbacks throwing him the football last year. The guy put up over 1,200 yards. I think he had 7 or 8 scores. I could easily see Neighbors 1,600 yards if he plays this year, start to finish. I think he's going to have a monster year this year for the Giants. I think he's one of the most talented wide receivers in the league. And I expect Washington to double cover him throughout the entirety for the most part of this game. And that's where Darius Slayton comes into play. That's where Wandale Robinson, Theo Johnson, and we got to be able to establish the ground game tomorrow, especially with Andrew Thomas out. I can't stress that enough. Tyrone Tracy and the rookie Cam Scatterb, we got to get things cooking on the ground.
100%. Devin Singletary, too. I think a lot of people forget about him, the veteran that the Giants signed last offseason. But last week in week 2, he looked really good against Washington. I think he had 2 scores. He had, I think, a career-high 10 forced missed tackles in that game or something crazy. But back to the point of Malik Neighbors that you said, obviously, we are really high on him. Think he's going to push for that Triple Crown last year. My favorite stat to throw out there for Malik Neighbors is he had 1,200 yards last year, but he only caught 7 receptions, 20-plus yards downfield. Now, he was targeted 29 times, 20-plus yards downfield, which is the same amount of targets that he received on deep targets in his final collegiate career. But instead of putting up 700 yards that he put in that final collegiate season, he only put up 200 yards last year. So there was about 500 yards left on the table due to inadequate quarterback play last season. And that's why I'm so high on Malik Neighbors, because now you're pairing him an elite deep threat. Wasn't able to maximize that last year. And now he's got Russell Wilson, who was the highest graded deep passer in the NFL last season and throws a patented moon ball that's one of the best deep balls that the NFL has ever seen.
I mean, we saw it in the preseason. I'm not used to that. I'm not accustomed to that as a Giants fan. And again, it's preseason. But preseason or regular season, it was a beautiful deep ball. I think it was 63 yards in the air. Was it Bo Collins, Jordan Humphrey, whoever it was a beautiful deep ball. And yes, that's a big part of this offense that we were missing last year that I think Malik Neighbors specifically will be able to expand upon. And I've said it countless times, the guy that I think a lot of people are forgetting about and a guy that I don't think enough Giants fans respect is Darius Slayton. Darius Slayton now has the chance to play with the best quarterback he's ever played with in his career. You're going to have all that added attention on Malik Neighbors. I could see Darius Slayton having his best year as a pro this year for the New York Giants. And I think he fits this offense perfectly. We talk about how Russell Wilson throws a great deep ball. Slayton, that's his bread and butter. I think that's his biggest strength. We just haven't been able to see it enough because of the quarterback situation with the New York Giants. So I expect Slayton to have 800-900 yards this year opposite Malik Neighbors if he could stay healthy. I think the Giants are going to have a pretty good passing attack.
Yeah, and if they have a pretty good passing attack and that defense lives up to the expectations, and this team should be pretty good this year and could easily exceed the expectations that most fans have set out there for them. Because when we look at the defensive side of the ball, that front seven looks like it could compete with any of them. It's got to be among the top 5 in terms of talent on paper. And Abdul Carter is going to be the X factor in this game against the Washington Commanders as he tries to match up with Jaden Daniels.
On my way over to Jersey today, I was just thinking about the defense and salivating. How many teams in the NFL can say that their 4th best pass rusher can wreck a game? I know a lot of people, kill Kayvon Thibodeau because he was the 5th overall pick and people have immense expectations for him. And he hasn't lived up to that pick. And he probably won't, if I'm being honest. But he himself has won us games in the past. I think people forget how talented he is. He's our 4th best pass rusher. The Giants' front seven, like you said, I think on paper, I want to stress that. We have to see it on the field. But on paper, could stack up with most units in the league.
Yeah, and you mentioned that there with Kayvon Thibodeau. He single-handedly won the Giants a game one time, and that was against Washington. And tomorrow they're facing Washington. So I like our odds here. I know the Giants are, 5.5-point underdogs? Does that sound right?
That's last I saw, 5.5, yeah.
5.5. I mean, that feels pretty favorable to me, especially when you're considering that it is on the road. It's a new quarterback. And, yeah, it can be a tense environment over at FedEx Field. But the Giants defensively, if any team's going to stack up with Jaden Daniels and that Washington Commanders offense, I think it's going to be the New York Giants.
We're going to find out, right? The thing that I'm most excited to see tomorrow, at least from a defensive standpoint, you ask any Giants fan over the last couple of years, what's been the biggest weakness on the defensive side? We've been awful against the run. A lot of people blame Wink Martindale for that. We bring in Shane Bowen. His MO was he was supposed to be better against the run. We were supposed to be tighter in the red zone. We didn't see it last year. There's no excuses this year for this not to be a better defensive unit against the run. You've improved the secondary, which we haven't even gotten into. That's where the Giants spent all their free agency money this year. They spent a boatload on both Holland and Adebo. Now Banks, if he plays at the CB2, that's another interesting storyline. We saw that Cordell Flott is actually going to get the start tomorrow, and they're going to sub them in and out, which I hate that idea. We saw that with Joe Judge when he did the musical chairs with the offensive linemen. I don't see how somebody could get in a groove if you're constantly pulling people in and out at the position. So I don't like that idea if they're going to pursue with that. I think we saw Dan Duggan talked about that, how Flott's going to start and they're going to bring Deonte Banks in on 3rd and longs or 3rd downs. I don't like that. Pick a player, play him. I hope they don't do that. But regardless, I think the run defense should be significantly better this year with the overall upgrades on this defense, and you're going to get that test week 1. There's not many teams in the league that are a better threat from a running standpoint than the Washington Commanders with Jaden Daniels and what he does with his legs. You look back what this team did last year, Anthony, they're hard to get off the field. They were first in the NFL in 4th down conversion rate. I think it was 87% of the time they converted on 4th down, and they were 3rd in the league in 3rd down conversion rate. So we'll see how this defense is this year against the run. I think we're going to get a good test tomorrow from that standpoint.
Yeah, and a lot of people talk about Abdul Carter and his elite pass rushing ability, and he is elite in that regard for sure. But I think a lot of people overlook just how good he is against the run. He led the nation last year with 24 tackles for loss. He added the 12 sacks, and that's the flashy number that everybody looks at. But he had more tackles for loss than anybody. He is a force against the run. And so you need an edge rusher to set the edge against this Washington Commanders team that can run outside on you. Again, Abdul Carter, whether you're talking about matching up with Jaden Daniels, pass rushing Jaden Daniels, or trying to slow down the run game, he's the defensive weapon that the New York Giants didn't have last year to match up with Washington, but they have him now.
I can't wait, man. I cannot wait to see Abdul Carter in his first game as a New York Giant. We got a taste of it in the preseason. Didn't see a whole lot of him after that first game, but that first game, who did they play the first game in the preseason? I can't even recall off the top of my head.
Buffalo Bills.
The first game against the Bills, he was in there for 6 snaps. On 3 of them, he created a quarterback pressure, and I think he only went. I think he dropped back in coverage for the other 3, if I'm not mistaken. So seeing him, that chess piece in this defense with the other talent around him on the defensive line, I think Abdul Carter is going to blow up this year. I don't want to go as far to say that he's going to have a Micah Parsons impact year 1, but I think he's going to win Rookie of the Year. He's going to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. I would be shocked if he doesn't, if he remains healthy. He's that good. I think he was the best overall player in this draft, and the Giants were able to get him at 3, and I can't wait. I'm so excited, Anthony, that the Giants have their identity back. When I grew up watching the New York Giants, all you thought about was the pass rush. Michael Strand, Osu Manure, Justin Tuck, back before my generation, Lawrence Taylor, right? They're always built around the defense and the pass rush. The Giants finally feel like they're starting to get that back.
It's the pass rush and the toughness, and I think that's where on the offensive side of the ball,
we just got hit with a pass rush.
We're going to need to see a tough – let's get that fixed, actually. There we go. We got some great helpers with us. Thank you, guys.
We just had Abdul Carter go off the left side.
Got blindsided by Carter. Well, we got some Jets fans out here today. Any Giants fans? Giants fan? Yeah! Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go.
There we go. What's your prediction for tomorrow?
24-20 Giants.
Let's go. 24-20 Giants. I like it.
That's kind of where I'm at. I think it's going to be low to mid 20s, and I think it'll be a 3 to 4 point game. I think it's going to be a very close game tomorrow. I think the odds makers have it right at 5.5. It's crazy when you think about it because the Commanders, they're a year removed from going to the NFC title game. The Giants are a year removed from having the 3rd overall pick, and they say that the home field is worth 3 points. So basically Vegas is telling you the team that went to the NFC title game last year is only 2.5 points better than the Giants to open up the year. That's kind of wild to me, but encouraging if you're a Giants fan.
I think that speaks to how many improvements the Giants made this offseason in free agency and in the draft, overhauling the quarterback position, and then, of course, adding some of those key defensive pieces in the secondary, as you mentioned, Paulson Adebo, matching up with Terry McLaurin. That's going to be a fun one to watch.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. I think we should get to a couple of questions in the chat, Anthony. What do you think?
Yeah, if you got a way to pull it up here, let's see.
Let me
I think we've got some super chats, so let's click that start over there if you can.
Oh, that's right. We could just go to the starred comments. Absolutely.
There we go.
We'll start with B-Rog, who
we got B-Rog in the chat leaving a super for us. Thanks so much, B-Rog, saying, here's to an on-location show and a new Giant season. Yeah, here's to that, B-Rog. Really looking forward to this season starting up.
Yeah, B-Rog has been with me forever. Always pops into the live shows. Appreciate him for being here. And we may have to call the stream soon, man, because We're getting hit with a pass rush.
God doesn't want us to stream about the New York Giants this afternoon.
Hopefully, this isn't a sign of things to come tomorrow, but we'll just read a couple more of these, and then I think we'll
get through these super chats, and I think we're gonna have to wrap it up, guys. Chris, I'll let you take this one since they got your.
Officer Richie says, "Stand up, New York Giants fans! Good to see you, Officer Richie. Thank you for popping in." Shane Carter with an Entertainah super chat. Thank you so much for being here. And SB Williams, he talk about a regular on our show. Now he's popping in this stream as well, all the way from the UK, I believe. He says, "Good luck with the live show. What did you guys think of the tackles the last two games when the Cowboys looked?" We just got blindsided.
Yeah, SPP, we're gonna have to make this one up to you, man. We appreciate you coming in. We're getting the 6-man blitz, so we're gonna have to call this stream. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you to Bizarre Music Festival. I'm Fireside Giants, Anthony Rivardo. This is Chris the Entertainer. We'll catch you on the next one. Have a good one, and let's go New York Giants.
We got to stay healthy, guys, but we'll talk to you soon.
Perfect.